am Ricky Camacho, Registrar of the Antigua and Barbuda Intellectual Property and Commerce Office. And today I'm delighted to have with me Mrs. Paula Lee, Executive Director and Creator of The Paula Show.
Thank you very much for having me. It's my pleasure to be here, and I know that this is going to be an excellent program.
Well, we know that you're no stranger to television, having the first live audience talk show in Antigua and Barbuda. Would you mind telling us a little bit about what inspired you to create this show and about your background that led up to this TV show?
I remember growing up, I was always a talker, and at home they'd say, "You talk too much, you're forever talking." And I read a lot as well, but I didn't know that it was the genesis for what was to become The Paula Show. I was in New York in 2013, and this is about my faith. I was in New York, and I was in my mother's home, and I heard a voice saying, "You're not fulfilling your purpose." And for some strange reason, I turned around in the empty room and I asked, "What do you mean I'm not fulfilling my purpose, Lord?" And then the revelation came, The Paula Show, a pause, and then TV. And immediately after, I called Trevor Parker at ABS and I said, "Trevor, guess what happened?" Repeated the encounter, and The Paula Show started in about 3 months. Now, if you know anything about talk show, it takes years to plan them. And this was May, and by September, The Paula Show was on television. And I want to thank the people of Antigua and Barbuda and the people from all across the globe who have visited the program, because they too, by their participation, have made it a very interesting product.
Switching it up a little bit, putting together a talk show, you have to think about many things, and what I would like to know is, what does it mean to you to be a female innovator and creator, particularly of a talk show for a live audience in Antigua and Barbuda?
I feel blessed because there are many persons who would have attempted this venture and it might not have been as successful as they hoped. And when I noticed that we went beyond 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, okay, 8 years, and we remained relevant, I said, wow, this was indeed a blessing and a miracle as well, I dare say. So as a result of the program, I have gained some national prominence, but I humbly use those opportunities to present to various groups and to help individuals to understand the value of persevering. I wanted to shelve The Paula Show a million times. Lack of sponsorship, lack of support, lack of capital and finance, and having to use your person. Can I go deep here? Having to use your personal finances, seeing your savings depleted because you want to fulfill a particular dream. And then I said, no, but if I stop, then I won't be a finisher. And all their lives I've said to my children, you ought to be finishers. So if I were to share valuable lessons about being a female entrepreneur and planning for the program and executing the program, I'd say for any business, just as The Paula Show, you need to persevere, you need to follow a path, ensure that you have the skill sets around you, the people with the skill sets, in my case, the technicians, the editors, you need those persons, and maintain good relationships with your sponsors or the people who can help to reinvest into your business.
So professionally, what would you say your goal is, having now a decade of TV experience?
I I don't know, Ricky, but I just have this mindset from since maybe over 30 years ago. I would love to work at the United Nations, specifically in New York City. And someone might say, for what purpose? I see it as an organization that can help to champion the cause for women, men, and children. And we need that type of representation and global assistance in Antigua and Barbuda and across the Caribbean, because I consider myself, having worked at Cable and Wireless for over 25 years and traveling the Caribbean, and it's a regional company of sorts, I consider myself a Caribbean woman. Yes.
When you began your brand, or what you created your brand, The
Yes.
Paula Show, did you have any knowledge of business or any knowledge of intellectual property? And if so, how did it benefit you? Did you come to have knowledge, particularly of copyright and broadcasting rights, as you were embarking on this journey?
I did have knowledge of business because while I was working at that substantive job, I was also an entrepreneur. You know, I had a side hustle, the PCM League Communications and Consulting, and that is still in existence. So I had that entrepreneurial knowledge. Copyrights, trademark, I didn't think it was necessary. And then someone from your office spoke with me, Miss Otto, and said, you need to protect your content. And for a minute, I thought about it, and I said, you need to protect your content, but it's mine. So why would anyone just simply use my information? But then I remember, see these guys on the street selling the DVDs? It's somebody's music that they copied, and they're now selling it. I said, that could happen not only in Antigua, but somebody can take my content elsewhere in the globe and use it to make money, to make an income. And so I decided, okay, we're going to copyright the Paula Show. We're going to do the various licenses. So I came to your office, and your guys really helped me with my logo and everything to ensure that my content is safe.
I would just like to ask, to new entrepreneurs in your field, particularly women, are there any little pearls of wisdom or advice that you may want to give them?
I would say that there's a myth that money makes the world go around. I believe it's relationships. And not only relationships, surface relationships, but when you've established a connection with individuals, ensure that you stay in touch, that you don't only call when you need assistance. Because I have found along the way that the people who have supported me for years and years and years, these are individuals that care about me, care about my product because of our relationship. Honesty, transparency. In business, you have to place the cards on the table. You have to ensure that there are no surprises. Always have a contract. Understand the contract. If you don't understand, then you need to seek legal advice. Please, no word of mouth in business. Ensure that you write email messages. Everything should be documented so there is a paper trail. I have this thing, technology sometimes fails and information disappears. So guess what? I always have a backup. Print it. I love ink and printing. So those factors have helped me in business. And then the final one that I would speak about, attitude. Even if you're upset, the world doesn't have to know that you're upset. You have to manage your attitude, manage your behavior. In business, consistency matters. Not today you're nice and tomorrow you're not so nice. And then next week, because you're nice, you expect everyone else to fall in line. Consistency.
And lastly, how can we keep up with Mrs. Paula Lee and the Paula Show?
I invite you to join me on Facebook, The Paula Show, Instagram and YouTube, The Paula Show TV. We have uploaded many of our programs that we've aired over the last 10 years to YouTube, so you can binge watch. You can have fun watching The Paula Show, even if it's not available to you via cable, because it's aired by CTV Channel 2, and I'm mindful that there are other service providers, so YouTube is the alternative. Have fun watching The Paula Show.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Paula Lee. It's truly been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me, and I wish you much success in your personal and professional endeavors.